What's going on out there, good people? Welcome back to LMD Trading. Just sitting down a little early this morning to get my pre-market routine out of the way. So figured I'd go ahead and start it up. Taking a look at the SPY first, as I usually do. And it's nothing new. We see on the hourly, I'm getting this pretty constant pattern of up, ramp downs. We do see that we did set a higher low yesterday. Pre-market, we've set another higher low using the same lower highs. So what I could do right here is go ahead and draw that right there. And that is that infamous pennant flag that we've been seeing so often. And it just depends on which way this is going to break. Once we get that break, we'll look for the retest on the top side or the bottom side and look to get a trade off of whichever way this thing wants to break and hold. So that is what I see on the SPY this morning. No clearly defined uptrend or downtrend. It is just setting lower highs, higher lows. And we have the weekly up channel pretty much smack in the middle. I did go through last night and get my colors back in order for using these white charts. Royal blue weekly up channel. This purple is an hourly down channel. And I just dropped this one here. Black normally is going to be an intraday channel, or in this case, just a intraday trend line to see which way we're going to go. If this thing does go higher, we can use this point right here. And I'll go ahead and just draw it up. I didn't want to duplicate. I want to redraw. So first what we're going to do is delete one of those. I want to redraw this as a channel. And I'm going to use that point right there as my up channel or up line. So this is what I see this doing if it goes higher. If it goes lower, we'll just continue to use the hourly down channel. So that's the SPY. Let's go ahead. Let's just run through our daily ideas list real quick. This is Apple. I'll blow the hourly up. This line here is out of play. We'll get rid of it. What I'm going to do on this one is just activate it. I won't delete it. I'll just move it up to the top side. And like I said, what I've found in order to get these to line up over on the 2-minute chart is just kind of slide it up or down. Notice how that got right on line. Let me turn my cursor on real quick. All right, so I'll do that now. I'll duplicate. I'm going to duplicate this one because it'll make it easier to see what it is. And then I'm going to just stack that one on top. Same way. If it doesn't line up, kind of move it up. Look how it gets it right lined up. And look where that is touching now. So that's what I'm seeing Apple doing right now. Nothing clearly defined as far as a possible uptrend. Same thing like the SPY though. And actually, I don't like that point. I like this one better. I do see that we're setting higher lows. So we're coming into another one of those pennants where it's going to have to break one way or the other. AI. I don't think I will be trading AI today, but this was one that I took yesterday. Left quite a bit of money on the table on this one. Look at this beautiful, beautiful 1 hour chart. This is about where I got in. This is about where I got out. And this is what I left on the table. AI possibly could still be in play today, getting over previous high of day. Right now, it's breaking previous day's close. We can get back over yesterday's high, get a retest, or a good 3-bar play off the open, possibly. This would be a good trade, but there are no key levels right now. This did have a bull flag, and it did break to the high side. So that's looking good. I'll possibly keep that one on there. I could watch up to 9 stocks at one time. AMD, nothing. You look over here at the 2-minute, absolutely nothing. And I am going to change this to a 5-minute just because it's pre-market, and that will give some fuller candles. But like I said, right now, nothing. And the first chart that I normally set my eyes on is the hourly. And then I'll go to the 4, over here to the intraday, and the weekly. Right now we see that AMD is smack in the middle of this weekly up channel. What I'll do right here is activate this and just drag it up. Instead of creating a new one, I just bring that one up there. And we see that's pretty much where it kind of consolidated. Also, we see that it is right in line with previous day's high. So that is the good thing with AMD right now. I said it wasn't really doing much, but as I zoom in, it is over previous high of day. It is getting back in this hourly up channel, which I have as a maybe a little lighter than navy blue. So this is my hourly up channel. It is getting back in there. So on the hourly chart, if you look at the intraday chart, it's already in it. And that's the crazy thing about when you're using these channels. Different time frames give you a different picture. I'm gonna just go ahead and line these up on my intraday. Notice how I just kind of drag it up, and boom, look at that perfect alignment. So that's AMD. Let's take a peek at Amazon real quick. Again, looking at the hourly, we already had some up channels established. It pretty much has been trading in this lower one. Tried to break out of it yesterday, got pushed back down. Slightly lower highs, but nothing real significant. So we're going to roll with just what we have right there. Looking down at the weekly, we do see that we are in basically the middle of it. One thing I have been doing is creating a weekly art set so that I can get rid of the small intraday stuff that comes up on these. Once the weekly lines are defined, I really don't need to see the intraday stuff on this weekly chart. It kind of clogs it up. So I just save a new set, delete those lines. Let's go ahead and take a look at Meta. On the weekly, Meta is somewhat in a no man's land. We do have a steeper up channel, and I don't like when we get these steeper up channels like this because they usually do not last long. We'll go ahead and set that one right there so we get a few points touching. I could put it here and I'll just have that point and that point. Put it here, I have this point, and all of that coming through there. And we do see that it has broken out of this up channel right now. I will keep that one there, and I'm gonna keep it drawn as an intraday. I'm gonna keep it drawn with the black lines. Let's go ahead and take a peek at Microsoft. You notice I did the same yesterday with just a black line running through there, and we have broke that this morning. I'll extend that to the right just so you can kind of see it. We broke it right here. So I will keep it just to see what it does. But that's Microsoft. You also can look and see, like everything else, we've been getting the lower highs right there. And it has broken out to the upside, and we've been testing it. We've been testing that this morning. If we can get over high of day, we're doing good. Downside with that is we have Friday's high of day right there. So everything is in the upper areas right now, which is good. NVDA, first thing, let me save this one and call it a weekly, and I'm going to get rid of these little small, wrong one. If you do that, you just come and hit undo. Very easy. And that's the one that I want. We see NVDA is kind of smack in the middle, pretty much like everything else has been. I will duplicate this, bring it up here. Look at how off that is right there. So again, I just kind of play with it and see where I need to put it at. Not too far. There we go. Oh, wow. Come on. There it is. So we're in this little up channel. If you come over here, you do see a little lower high right there, but don't have as many points touching as we did on those previous ones. So that's what I see on NVDA, still in an hourly uptrend. We've already done the SPY. Let's take a peek at Tesla. First thing jumps off on Tesla. Immediately catches my eye. And that's what you want to be able to do. Look at a chart and see what immediately catches your eye. That pennant. That is what immediately caught my eye. Lower highs, higher lows. We see that on just about every chart this morning. So with this particular pattern, what I'm gonna look for is the break to the high side, retest and go, break to the lower side, retest and go. This is right in the middle of yesterday's candle. Previous high of day, previous low of day. Usually sets up for a choppy day. So of all of the stocks that we've looked at this morning, Tesla is the one that's pretty much not in a range that I would like to trade. Take a peek at SPY real quick, see what it's trying to do. Again, that's that pennant. It had tried to break to the lower side. It's trying to push back in right now. Buyers are trying to get it back in. Sellers would want to keep it below this line, and then we get the down move. But the SPY it's kind of in no man's land, but just in the upper part of yesterday's candle. And that's the good thing about having previous high of day, previous low of day lines on your chart. You can easily see where the stock is trading at in relation to yesterday's candle. Best trades usually come when you're trading outside of previous high of day or previous low of day, because you're not really dealing with any of the volume from that previous day's candle. So that's going to be it. I'm going to kind of flip through some of these on my pre-market gap list. I have it scanned by percent daily gains just to see what the gap list is putting off this morning. GDC. We see that it's made a couple of good moves this morning. Let's go ahead, take a peek at PHIO. Another one that's moving pretty good this morning. It's made a move from $3.45 up to $5.25 pre-market. So almost up $2. Mike, another good move pre-market. It's kind of pulling back. Just about right here is halfway. If you actually go from this up to about there, halfway is about right where it's kind of basing out at. So let's look at IMMP, choppy, no real clearly defined pattern going right now. BTSI, same thing. So this is how you can kind of flip through stocks real quick in the mornings and find ideas. It doesn't take long because a lot of these, even though they're on the watch list, it's not going to really be worth looking at. We see this gapped up and it's just consolidating. That's usually the sign of a buyout or like a split. This one has a uptrend that you can see it. If I drop a line here, go back to my trend line tool, drop a line there, drop a line off that low, redraw, and then just come right there. Just no volume in it yet, but you can see that uptrend forming. Nothing there, nothing there. Capital One, big spike off the open, right? Actually, this was yesterday's close, 415. You get this big spike, $3. Comes right back down and just kind of consolidating this morning. We'll look at two more. Dish. I like Dish. Come over, look at the hourly on Dish. I'm going to draw this one starting backwards. And see how I did that from that point to this point. And now look, it catches that point. And then I'll redraw it as a channel to now get the base. So usually you see me getting the base first. This one I had to use the top to get it. Extend that to the right. Edit. Come over here, change that to the blue. So that's the hourly up channel. Come over, look at the intraday chart. Look at how perfect that lines up. Right up there to $7. $7 is right at the top. That's what I like to see for my confirmations when I'm drawing my channels. But I like this picture. This is a nice picture right there. What I'll do now is sort this same list by losers. And now we'll see stocks that's going downhill. Look at that yesterday. ELOX, nice ramp up at 2 o'clock up to 1477. Imagine buying this yesterday with the thought that we're going to continue higher tomorrow morning. You see it make this good move after hours, and this thing is just sold off $6. Ugly. So if you bought right here and didn't pay any mind to what this did after hours, you coming into the market down $2 per share. Not good, not good. That's the thing with these pharmaceuticals, which I will trade. I am not going to lie. I'll trade them. EZNP, we see that this sold off yesterday afternoon, just been kind of consolidating. OMH, this was the one that was OMG yesterday. This thing went from, call it $15 yesterday, up to $57. And it's just been selling off ever since it hit that high. We'll look at three more of these real quick. That's ugly. Don't like it. Again, you want to see some clearly kind of defined movement in the stock like that there. That's decent. A lot of these that are trading lower, once the market opens, I'll look for this to be negative, so down, and I'll look for this column to start turning green. That's an indication that the stock is bouncing. And I'll look to take trades on those bounces. But I'm usually looking for something that's kind of parabolic, that kind of dropped like this and continued. So you get this big candle, then let's say you get another big candle. Market open, I'm looking for this to have a huge negative number, and then this number to start turning green, almost like that is. So this was negative 20%, and then it was up 207%. I usually don't pay this column no mind with the market closed, because this tells you the percent after the market has opened. So these numbers won't move until 9:30. Look at Futu, and then we're going to wrap it up. This is one right there, though. Two big red candles. That's that parabolic move down. I'm going to look for that bounce. This is a perfect example of it right there. Last one that we look at is the perfect example. And that's usually what I do in the mornings. I just kind of go through. This is prior to 9 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, I'll blow this one up. And that's when I'll start looking for intraday channels, seeing what the intraday is doing. But the hourly time frames, I can get those set up well before the market opens. Hope y'all enjoyed. Let's take a peek at the SPY one more time. Boom, we see it trying to break to the downside. This still has another, one candle? Yeah, maybe another one candle to really determine what it's going to do. Let's look at Tesla. Tesla was another one that was kind of pennant. Again, we got a whole nother hour and a half before market opens. That's when it's going to determine which way it needs to go, as we see how stuff lines up, with time. So this is pressure in a pipe. That pipe is narrowing up. All that pressure has to go somewhere. So right at 9:30, it's going to have to go somewhere. I'm going to actually say probably 9 o'clock, it's going to have to go somewhere. But I'm going to wrap this one up right here. Hope y'all have a good day if you are in the market, and be on the lookout. I have a very narrow trading window this morning, so I'm going to look to hopefully get a trade off the open, find something that's giving me a nice clear pattern off the open. Otherwise, may or may not get any trades in later on in the morning. So I'm up out of here. I'm chucking up the deuces. Peace.